So it's been about 4 years now since the first time you went to Oklahoma, right?
This is
your 4th year or 5th year?
No, this is my fifth year.
I don't know why I'm asking you. Anyways.
First year.
It's been several years. And do you remember that first time you went?
Mm-hmm.
I hope you remember.
I remember that. I couldn't tell you what date it was, but I remember it.
But just that first initial experience of, you can talk it up all you want, but until you actually get there and see it and do all that, I'm excited because Brandon's about to get to.
He's waited a long time for this.
Yeah. And, it's, me and you've talked about it before. Like, I get just as much, if not more excited.
Oh, yeah. Watching
for him
eyes.
to go get the experience that. And then, I got to do that with you. And then we both got to kind of do that with Bill. And now we're getting to do that with Brandon. It's just like, that's what's so cool about it is it never gets old to me.
How do you think Brandon feels? He's had to watch like all these videos over the years, hear the stories, and waited like 5 years for this.
Because what's crazy is he was supposed to go on a couple of them, and just every time something's came up to where he couldn't, and it's like he's been let down for a long time.
Oh, I would have been worried that he's going to back out on this. I've been like, is he still good?
I'm probably the most pumped up about that. Like just
absolutely
him finally getting to see it and do it. We'll talk about it.
About to get real.
Golly, Jimmy.
He weren't about to get out of here. Let him get nice and low. Those feathers, bro.
Hey, I'm ready, man.
Oh, they're going to get a skizzy pass this morning.
And by golly, you're doing it.
Put the smack down, baby.
This just got dirty in a hurry.
Every time I listen to that and I hear that, let them get nice and low. Nobody ever lets them get nice and low. And I'm holding the camera if I'm saying that, but it's let them get nice and low. And it's just pow, pow, pow.
You know what came after that point? Because I know exactly what clip that is. It was like a 2-pack or a 3-pack. They were coming straight in at us, and you were going, let them get nice and low. And then they kept going like they were going to go right over top of, and you were like, if they're going to come over us, just shoot them.
I was guilty.
You've been having some bad times with that.
Up here. We're gonna move you back. Sorry.
It does not like the skinny pipe.
It does not like the skinny pipe. I hope I'm in frame. How you doing?
It likes a good thick pipe. This one.
Why is it every time we get on here you have like a Hispanic?
I don't know. It's a very long skinny pipe. And it gets a little fatter.
You said fat boy or what was it? Fat boy hot with a not good. No good.
Yeah. Fat white man hot with a no good, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, we're done.
But yeah.
Yes. So BP. I hope I haven't given up on him yet because he's still got like 24 hours before we hit the road.
No, come on, have a little faith.
But I
He's
just hope
pumped
he's
up
not
about
like. I hope he doesn't pack hard.
He's pumped up
or heavy, should I say? If he packs like 8 bags like a female, we're in trouble.
Nah, he'd be all right. Except he left his jacket in my truck, so I at least got that.
Well, so part of him is going, no matter what.
Part of him is going.
Okay,
but yeah, tomorrow's a big day.
I'm ready. Well, mentally, I'm ready. I'm not prepared ready.
Yeah.
But remember the time we tried to do one of these on the road, and we thought
actually driving,
and we thought Judd was going to kill us.
Yeah.
I thought about doing that again, but we're taking my truck, so no.
Okay. That was actually really fun. Like I enjoyed doing it, but it's a pain in the butt setting everything up.
Yes.
Like,
and we didn't. It's at night. So
I'm 100% down to do it again as long as I'm not in the back, because I had to be the guy that had to set it all up and run the board and then tear it all back down. So as long as I'm up front, I'm down. So I'll leave that there.
Nope.
Because I tell you what that means. BP ain't gonna run it.
So that means I gotta do it. Dang.
But yeah, no, it was fun.
Well, what you need to do is you need to not go to sleep tonight, because you always try to take first leg on sleeping in the back, because we split these shifts up. You know, we drive straight through and through for anybody listening, and it's about an 18-hour drive. So that's, do the math, 6 hours apiece to sleep. Garrett always like, I'll go first. The first 4 hours, you don't sleep.
Nope.
You're up talking, get you hyped up. We're on a trip, blah, blah, blah. So you just need to stay awake tonight. Don't go to sleep. That way tomorrow you're like me, like the old me.
Yeah.
Just walking around like a zombie.
Yeah.
That way as soon as we hit the truck, lights out.
I don't know that I could pull all-nighter. I'm not young like I used to be. I might try to keep it. It's old Toad. I might try to keep it short. Like stay up late, get up early.
Get one of them monster
Well, the thing
coffee things.
Either way, my boys get up at 5:30 every morning. So
but you're used to that.
I'm getting up at 5:30, but instead of going to bed at 10 or 11, maybe I go to bed at like 1 or 2.
3. It's going to be nice. We're going to put you right out. We got the whole air mattress for the back seat now.
Oh yeah, I'm sleeping this time. I ain't playing.
Got the whole air mattress that fits in the back seat. It's going to be nice.
It's a done data. I'm out.
Yeah.
Gone.
I will fill this podcast in on the report if he actually does that or not. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Me too, man.
And I feel like the typical Oklahoma crew is starting to send the text messages. Oh, hope they're here.
Yeah.
Get a little worried.
Playing with us already.
Yeah, playing with my emotions.
Hope they're playing.
We're going either way.
By the time this comes out, we'll know if they were playing or not.
All right. Yeah, hopefully we got time to get up there and set one of these up with them. So
I did. You didn't, of course. Got some practice on some duck shooting the other day with the old Merg Fest 2023.
Yeah. Merg Smash. Yeah, Nate missed another hunt. Shocker.
And that's what really sucks, because that was one of the funnest hunts of the year.
Really?
And I'll tell you what was so funny about it that just completely cracked me up. You know how it is, like, come September, everybody's fired up. And, like, every hunt, we're running, like, 8-9 guys because, like, everybody's available. Everybody wants to be there. And then it just kind of starts dwindling where it just ends up just being just a few of us. And so I'm expecting it to be like maybe like 3 or 4 of us will go.
I was shocked in the group text. Like, everybody's like, I'm down. I was like, I'm the only one not going to this?
Every single person in the crew except for you came. And I was like, I said, and I told them there when we met up at the gas station and hopped out, I was like, First of all, first thing I want to say
Good
is,
to see all you fellas.
It makes me so happy that I threw a question in the group chat, Merg beatdown ? And everybody came out the woodwork. I said, if we'd had a goose hunt, it'd have been 4 of y'all. But I said Mergansers, and everybody's there.
Welcome to North Carolina.
And it was a freaking blast.
You got a lot more response than I thought you were going to get on the group text.
Yeah, me too.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, yeah, I'm working.
I didn't know that everybody liked shooting mergansers so much. But you know what?
All right.
We had a good time.
I did see a video, or I think you put it on the story, of Waylon was wanting to get one mounted.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we'll get you one, man. Just not that one.
Yeah. So Waylon took his little I wasn't even planning on taking him because I was like, we got a pretty full blind. And I got up that morning and he woke up while I was getting ready. He's like, where are you going? And I was like, going hunting. He's like, I want to go. And I was like, I ain't going to tell you no.
Nope.
So I was like, all right, get up. Let's get dressed. So he goes with us and he's got his little Red Ryder BB gun. He took it with him. He had to make sure it had BBs in it because,
Is he shooting Boss BB?
Yeah, Boss BBs. So we get out there, and we had this one merganser that landed in the spread, and somebody was like, I don't even remember who it was, but they were like, shoot it, Waylon. So we're in the panel blinds. He's not tall enough to see over the panel blinds.
He's come around.
He's standing on my Yeti bucket. And they're like, shoot it, Waylon. You just hear, ding. And as soon as he did that, somebody else down the way, they shot too. Water spotted, killed it. And then everybody just instantly was like, heck yeah, Waylon, you got it, dude. That's awesome. Dude, he was so excited.
So you gave him the thrill of his first kill without him actually having it. He's going to listen to this in like 10 years and be like, man,
I really thought I killed that joker. Well, then he was so excited about it. He says that he killed 2. I don't know when he shot the second one.
Oh.
But yeah, as soon as he got home, he ran and told his mama he shot 2 ducks, and he told his pawpaw, I shot 2 ducks. He's so excited. But I don't know what the difference in all of them, but for some reason, this one hen merganser,
Oh God.
he said, Dad, I want to put this one on my wall. And I was like, I said, dude, we'll find you a cooler duck to put. I like this one though. And I was like, he goes, I like it because it's fuzzy. And I was like, we'll find you another cool fuzzy one.
So did you?
What?
Take it to the taxidermist?
No, I did not. I did not. But we had a good shoot. It was a pretty quick shoot, but it was fast and furious for 15, 20 minutes there, just group after group after group coming in. We shot I think we ended up shooting like 12 mergansers, a bufflehead, and a wood duck, random wood duck. So
mixed bag.
There was one good bird in
North
there.
Carolina mixed bag.
Yeah, right.
Which one's the good bird?
The wood duck. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we trying to think if there's anything I'm missing about that. We took Bill and Judd's dog because they'd never hunted any water. We brought Thea just in case, for the actual retrieves. But they brought their dogs too to just introduce them. I was like, there ain't gonna be no screwing this hunt up. And I had watched it the morning before just to kind of see what they were doing, and it was super fast, like a group every 10, 15 seconds. So I was like, let's just shoot them and then we'll pick up because if you send your dog, we're gonna screw it up. So we just waited till it was pretty much done, and then they got to work with their dogs. Judd's don't really like the water yet.
Cowboy or?
Yeah, Cowboy. He wasn't really a fan of the water. Bill's dog actually did a few retrieves in the water. So that was cool to get to see, just getting to work some new pups.
Has Bill took his dog on a duck hunt yet?
I don't think so.
I know he took him on the dove hunt.
Yeah, I think that was his first one.
He did pretty good on the dove hunt to be a pup.
Oh, gosh.
You got to go to work?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to talk to myself.
I guess we'll have to pause this. We're going to have to.
Okay.
Because I got to make a phone call. We'll be right back.
2 hours later.
And we're back.
3 hours later.
No. 2 minutes.
Yeah, just kidding.
Sorry about that. I tell everybody else this whole
I'm just glad it weren't my job for
work
once.
thing is getting in the way of our professional hunting
Usually
career.
it's my job. This time it was yours.
Where was we?
I have
We
no
were talking
clue.
about the merganser smash, working the new dogs.
Bill taking his dog on the dove hunt. First duck hunt it's been on.
Yeah. But anyways, it was just one of them hunts that it was kind of like, we ain't got nothing else to do. Might as well go do this. For some reason,
Everybody
the whole freaking
was on
crew
board.
was down.
Well, not the
And-
whole.
Well,
On my chopped liver.
well, I mean, like everybody was there except for you. But and it ended up being a really fun hunt. It was cool. It was a big farm pond, or not big farm pond, medium-sized farm pond. Put the panels right on the edge. Shot him in the face. It was pretty cool. And it's already holding birds again. So if we want to go, I didn't get a good response. I sent a little video to the
Merc
group.
smash
Just-
number
and I
2.
was like round 2 ? And I think I
Not
only
the
had-
same response.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, maybe they don't want to
I'll go with you.
beat up the merge again. If anything, I'm taking you.
Let's go.
If
I'll do it
anything, me
with
and you are going. So I figured,
Tomorrow morning.
if we come down to the end of the season and we ain't got nothing else to do, there's probably that option.
Merc smash.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
I ought to be down, sir. Seeing as how I've missed the past 18 hunts you've been on.
Then this past Monday, I thought finally Nate's going to get to go because he's off Monday.
No. Well, I was after 8 a.m.
Yeah. Which
I feel bad because, I was going on call right before we leave to go on our trip. And with my job, on-call weekend could go really south really quick. I could get 18 cases, and then I'm screwed because I told my boss, I was like, hey, anything I get on the weekend, I'm just going to come in to the office and work it so that I can finish it up. That way it's not sitting there for a week while I'm gone.
yeah.
Luckily, I didn't get a single call.
Well, that's good.
It's good, but it also sucks because it's like, I didn't get to go on these hunts. I was just
For
sitting
no
here
reason.
For no
Yeah.
reason. But I felt bad because at 8 a.m., guy I work with, he took over the on-call, and I hadn't had a call the entire weekend,
As soon as
and he got hit with one. I was like, dang. I felt bad.
that's
But
how it goes.
Anyway,
Well, you didn't miss nothing on that one, other than it was nice because it was super cold.
I missed
For
Waylon's
cold
first
around
kill.
here.
At least we're gonna have to live that up until he understands.
Well, we'll just play it off as that was his first kill with his BB gun.
There you go.
He had his first.
Just don't
kill
let him
with a
tell that
real
story
gun.
to the game warden later.
Yeah, right.
You should cut up some ball shells. Give him some ball BBs.
No,
No. $18 later.
but yeah, we this past Monday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Is it his
That's
birth?
a long.
Is it? We had this discussion in the blind. Is it his birthday or is it just his day? I don't know.
That's a Google question.
Yeah. I didn't know if you knew working for the sheriff's department.
I don't even want to touch that. Is that? Never mind. I'm not getting into that.
But anyways, like I said, everybody was off for Monday. Well, not everybody. Most people were off on Monday.
Thank you. Hurts.
And so everybody kind of wanted to go. We didn't really have nothing great. Had this one spot that kind of had some geese being very inconsistent. Story of the year. So we were like, screw it, let's go try them. And the good news is we saw way more geese than had been there. The bad news is they all just gave us the middle finger and kept rolling. So yeah, we didn't do nothing. We just set up and sat there and shared a few laughs that morning. Watched Parker eat a biscuit while none of us had any. And that was, Parker did it right.
Oh,
He showed up with a biscuit, with a big thermos of hot coffee, a buddy heater. I mean, he was living it up.
oh,
And we
You
just
didn't
watched.
bring nobody else a biscuit.
We just watched.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's dirty, Parker.
Yeah, I know. I was like, he got done. I was like, you got any more than biscuits? And he was like,
Didn't the teacher ever tell you if you ain't got enough for the whole class?
he was like, well, I packed this in my bag this morning, and I already felt bad about doing it, but I couldn't let it go.
As he's eating it, it feels so bad.
Oh, dude, he even set it up on his buddy heater and got it nice and warm.
Bougie hunting.
Yeah.
Talking about all this work.
So he had a good morning.
Talk about all this work getting in the way of hunting. I thought about it the other day. I was like, you know what? I've missed so much hunting this year, more than I ever have.
Probably.
I know I have. And next year, I thought I was like, I'm just going to take random, like, couple of days off throughout hunting season so that I get a chance to hunt. The problem with that is if I take off, say, a couple days in September, a couple days in October, whatever, that'll be the only days that nobody can go or we have nothing to hunt, and then I'm screwed.
You can't pre-plan that kind of stuff.
That's
That's
what I'm
the
saying.
downside.
But
It could
maybe
be
next year
worse.
I'll get to hunt.
Yeah. It could be like my cousin who works for UPS. They have to put in their whole vacation for the entire year.
Ugh.
Like, who plans like that?
Why?
That's just how they do it.
What if things change? You have to like get someone to cover or switch with you, I guess.
If you can get somebody to switch with you, you can. But
Dang.
yeah, they have to put in their whole vacation for the entire year at one time.
Well, looking at our schedule, like the way we work with our schedule is like we rotate holidays, and that's what kind of got me this year, I think. It's just like the rotation kind of fell that way. It's like I did a lot more on call from September or from October to now. I've done a lot more on call than I have the past year,
Yeah.
or 2 years, because of the way the rotation fell. So hopefully next year I'll get to hunt again.
Let's hope
You
so.
Now, who knows? That's why I'm like, this trip, Brett can say we ain't got a bird in Oklahoma. Guess what? We're going.
I'm going somewhere.
I'm
It's like
going.
I said, we're going somewhere.
So
I'll tell you one bad thing. I forgot.
there's a lot of rewinds.
Yeah,
on you.
I forgot to tell you. The light bar on the trailer quit working.
The back one?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do to it?
She no more works, sir.
What'd you do to it?
I do nothing. I flippy switch and nothing come on.
There we go. We're back to Hispanics. That's not good.
It's a no
That's
good.
no good.
It's a no good, sir.
Well, bring her back over here.
So there's a few.
It
There's
needs to be cleaned up hard anyway.
this
so.
This off season's we're gonna have to do some maintenance because the list is starting to grow on the trailer of
What
some
else you
stuff
got?
that needs some attention. Just like I said, there's a few of the screws on the outside that's fallen out that are gone. One of the little marker lights over on the left side's like falling off.
Golly.
The bars inside are rusted. There's mold.
Well, I know
all over
why. I
the
know why that's
walls.
going on. I don't know if anybody else listening to this uses dog fennel or not, but you leave it in a trailer when it's green.
The
A lot of moisture.
the stuff we put on the floor starting to peel off on the ramp.
So she needs like a hard
Like
makeover.
she's gonna have to have some work done this summer.
Great.
So
Bust out the fans.
we got last summer off. So last summer we spent the summer building your shed.
That's right. Yeah. Another one of those.
That was the plan for
another one of
last
those,
summer. That,
check marks that didn't happen.
but yeah, I was kind of sour about that.
It might have just been where somebody was moving brushed blinds in and out and it caught the wire or something.
Who knows?
Did you like even investigate?
No,
it
it was
all?
in the middle of the dark. I was just like,
Oh,
shoot, she's not working no
well, the
more.
migrator was there, luckily.
It died while we were out there. Which is crazy because I just charged it. I don't know if this cold just killed that battery or what.
I mean, that's
But yeah, it quit on
a
us.
good possibility.
Like I think I charged it. I think we've only used it maybe like twice since I've charged it, which is weird because it made it all season last year.
So simple little. Did you look at the fuse?
Of what?
The backlight.
I ain't messed with it at all.
Nothing. Okay.
I just told you I threw the switches. It didn't come on. I went to brushing.
Well, I mean, usually check the fuse.
Nah, I ain't have time.
Nah. Well, we'll look at it
hopefully,
when we get
hopefully that's all it is.
back. Luckily, we're not pulling it to Oklahoma
Yeah.
this time. That's going to be nice. So, but speaking of Oklahoma, I've been kind of tracking the weather. I think this is probably going to be one of the warmest it's been.
I
Ever.
feel like it's about normal.
Last I checked, well, me and you have different weathers. Like the weather,
30s at
they
night,
always
50s in
say
the
the
day.
weatherman's never right. Our weathermans are never right because every time I'd be like, "Hey, tomorrow looks good," you're like, "No, it doesn't," or vice versa. And you got two different apps and they tell you two different things. But yeah, it was like at one point it was saying like 60s, and I was like, "That's warmer than I think I've ever had it in Oklahoma." Usually
Last
it's
I
cold.
looked, it was saying like 30s at night, 50s during the day, that's usually about how it is there, except for last year. Last year was the first time it's ever been like cold.
cold. Go to
But,
should have been on that hunt I was on. That's cold.
their
cold.
weather's been like ours. It's every week.
Yeah,
It's
that's why
just-
my nose sounds like that's why I'm like this.
So,
But
but yeah, we I was thinking about what made me think about the trailer is just, and I don't know if part of the packing the gear and all that stuff just kind of came about, but like this news shocker, breaking story for you.
God.
Hunting's expensive.
Yeah. It's even more expensive when you carry a camera too.
That takes you to a whole nother league. But it got me thinking when I was just trying to think of stuff to talk about, and I was just like, it hasn't always been that way. Not that hunting's not always been expensive, but I guess what I started thinking about was like, I haven't always spent a ton of money on hunting, and it's just been something that through the years, it's like it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and you know, but just kind of thought about like maybe that's something to kind of discuss is like for somebody who's maybe new to. Now, I obviously more or less talk about waterfowl just because that's what I like to talk about.
What you like to talk about?
But just hunting in general, I think no matter what game you're chasing, it can be very expensive.
Absolutely.
Now, somebody might call me out on this. I would say waterfowlers spend more money than other game, but maybe I'm wrong.
There's a lot of game that we don't chase that I know cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we can't really compare like going to Colorado to elk hunt. Like that's a lot of money involved. But it's like a one.
I guess
sum.
maybe I'm thinking of physical things because elk hunting, I'm thinking he's got a pair of binoculars and a bow.
Nah.
So
There's a whole lot more involved.
and some boots.
A packer. You gotta get that animal down the mountain.
Well, I know, but I'm saying they cut it up on the mountain, they put it in their backpack, and they walk out. Like, there's not a lot of gear.
Oh, well,
that's what I mean by like spending a lot of money.
Waterfowl's probably the only thing you got to buy. 20
Trailers worth of
dozen,
stuff.
yeah, 20 dozen decoys. But I guess when you look in the long picture, we have a lot of decoys and a lot of stuff in that trailer, but we don't really have to spend that money again unless something breaks.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about was like, for somebody who might be new into hunting, no matter what game you're chasing, is I don't think any of it has to be super expensive. And I think there's definitely ways to do it without breaking the bank. And so I just kind of thought about maybe running through some things thinking about ways that you can get out cheaper. Like for example, to help explain it better, your shotgun. You're going to go waterfowl hunting or turkey hunting or whatever. You don't have to go buy a $2,000 Benelli.
Nah.
Nothing wrong with them. They're great, sure. But you don't have to have.
Everybody's got Old Faithful 870 in the corner somewhere.
The most reliable gun you'll ever buy is an 870. Now, I mean, that was my starter gun. That's what I started with.
Had plenty
I
of
don't
them.
hunt with it anymore. I haven't in a long time
I haven't
anyway.
shot an 870 in a hot minute.
But I would swear by it. And that's like something of, you got a $2,000 shotgun, or you can go get one of them at a pawn shop for $200, $250. Like,
I always tell people that the Remington 870 is like the Jeep of guns. You can find anything for it.
that's true.
Most people have one. A lot of people have one. And like, think about it. You can go to Walmart right now and find a stock for an 870.
Probably.
They used to sell them. I don't even know if Walmart sells guns anymore. Some of them don't, but that's like Jeeps. You can find something for a Jeep everywhere you go. Same thing at 870. You can usually find it. You can get online right now and just type in 870 parts and go through pages of it.
Sure.
Versus some of the more expensive guns, a little hard to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can
that's
buy,
what I mean,
you don't
like
have to have,
with the gun thing. And then it even goes into like your shells. Like, you can buy expensive shells, you can buy cheap shells. I've went on plenty of hunts just buying the cheapest thing that for the first several years that I hunted, it was which ones are the cheapest. And that's the ones I'm picking out, I think a lot of times in a lot of this gear, sure, you get what you pay for. But it's not a lot of the money spent's not a necessity. I hope my wife is not listening to this, because she's gonna be like, "You said it. I heard you say it." But I mean, from gun to shells to even calls, like, you can spend $200 on a call. You can spend $10 on a call. Will they both work? Sure. Well, some of them
one of them going to be way easier to drive than the other one.
Is one of them going to have its limitations? A lot of times I think money comes into durability. How well is it built? That kind of stuff. And then just usability. Obviously, a lot of stuff like a nicer call might be a little more user friendly, or not even. I won't even say user friendly.
You go back like 4 years ago. No, not even. Probably about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I killed many a ducks wearing Walmart camo and an 870 shotgun.
Sure, absolutely.
And a
Same.
basic, like duck commander little wood duck call or something.
Yep.
Just cheap.
Yep.
Not cheap quality, but like cheap
call
cost.
It's a cheap call. It's just a plastic call.
But I mean, it's worked just fine.
Right.
It's just, I think you get, and this is kind of contradicting one of the last podcasts we did about, I think it was the what's your thoughts of things you can do. And one of the things was try new gear.
Yeah.
Because those people who are, like you're talking about, who are trying to keep expenses down, yes, I understand that. But I think it is important to try new things.
Well, you don't have to spend a ton of money to try new things.
Yes. Well, but I'm just saying, like,
and this is more or less,
if you get comfortable with this, maybe try a new one, even if it doesn't work for you after that year. But trying new things is what was my point last podcast. Right. But yeah, there's a lot of, look at decoys.
Yeah.
How many different brands, how many different styles? I'll tell you right now, I just got my mom got my dad one of the Strutter decoys for turkey season. I promise you, he didn't buy the DSD that you got.
Right.
He got the
and that's
Flex
my thing. Yeah. Like, you don't have to have DSD.
You seen that old Strutter we used to use.
Right.
Well, she was rough. Had like the 4-port fan and everything.
Crackhead.
Oh, crack. It worked though. Killed many a birds on it.
Meth head Strutter.
Got meth mouth. But it killed many a birds.
Right. Yeah.
So it works.
And that's my whole thing is like, sure, you don't have to buy the top of the line everything. I think that's something but it does a lot of it does come down to, getting what you pay for and that kind of stuff. But you definitely can get away with not doing a lot of that.
That makes me think of a podcast I listened to a while back when I was on the way to my deer hunting trip that Michael Waddell was talking about. And he was talking about, he's famous in the hunting industry, and he was at some show with Bill Jordan, and some guys walked up. They were drunk as all get out, and they started just talking smack. Oh, you got all that fancy stuff and all this blah, 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 and the lands and fenced deer and all this other stuff. And he's like, this was back in the day too, like when he first got to start. And he was like, and I was young and dumb back then. He's like, and I got a little mouthy with these guys. And I was like, I'll take your shotgun, I'll go kill your birds, and I promise you, I'll hunt you with your stuff. And he's like, it don't matter that you have all the gear. You can do it with whatever. Waylon did it with a BB gun.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was funny to hear him say, he's like, man, I was mouthy, and he's like, as you get into the industry, you kind of have to tone her back. But he's like, I was mouthy back then. I was like, no, I'll go kill your birds with your shotgun, then I'll take your girl when I'm done. And he was getting all loud up.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think there's, for one, just the money thing. So for somebody getting started, especially, like I said, this is more directed to waterfowl just because that's what I can speak on. But like, there's a lot of different things. So like, if I was a new guy that was getting into it and I'm new, like, oh gosh, it could be overwhelming because it's like, man, I need decoys, I need calls, I need blinds, I need clothes, I need, there's just guns, shells. Like, there's this long list of stuff, and it's like, you're obviously nobody I know is going to go out and buy the top of the line of all of it right off the bat.
Nah.
And I think that's where it's like, start small and build. And I think some things that we can kind of speak on that we can do is like for bigger purchases, for example, like we run the Tangle Free panel blinds. They're expensive, especially when you got 6 of them, Well, what do? For one, when we make bigger purchases, we usually go in on it together. If it's me or you or G2 or Judd, like we have other guys that contribute to keeping the cost down. It's not one guy that's spending all this money on that, because just in blinds itself is a lot of money just in the blinds. And then I think a lot of it is something that we do is adding a little each year instead of you're not going to go out your first year and be like, I'm just going to buy out Cabela's.
Well, I think, too, if you're talking about somebody getting into it, like I know a couple of people that just recently got into duck hunting, and they're like, man, there's a lot of gear. I'm like, yeah, but like, don't go spend thousands of dollars, and you might not even like that kind of hunting.
Right.
Like, there's plenty of people that you can go with that might already have decoys.
Sure.
You may have the blind. You just bought a brand new panel blind. You're like, man, I got to buy decoys. But unless you're going to go hunting solo, find out, hey, you got any decoys? And have people bring different things. See if you like it. Then you can start investing in your own stuff, whether that be cheaper stuff or more expensive stuff.
Right. I guess kind of like if there's like a formula to how I would suggest somebody to do it is getting your base core things. Don't spend a ton of money on it. Get the cheaper low end stuff to get you started. And then the next year you can either add to those things, or even if it's, well, I got these decoys, but after a year they look like crap. Half of them broke, half of them are faded. Okay, maybe the next time when you go to replace those, let's upgrade, And I think it's something that it's kind of a long game because for one, it requires so much gear. For two, high-end gear can cost a ton of money. And I think it's just when you see somebody that's got all this stuff and like that, it's like they didn't just go out and just turn around and, like I said, buy out Cabela's.
Oh, what's the first thing you're hearing? Can't mess with money.
Right, yeah. So it's one of them. You think about like our trailer rig, for example, like how long did it take to get it to where it's at? I mean, we're talking 5-6 years now.
Like the contents or the trailer?
Just all of it.
Oh, yeah. The trailer took last summer. There was videos.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about building the trailer. I'm talking about our whole goose rig.
The whole rig. Oh, yeah, years.
You're talking 5 years before we got everything that we needed in there.
Yeah.
And every year we're still adding to it. And
we keep adding to it. We're going to need a bigger trailer, boss.
We do need a bigger trailer, really. Or we need to get rid of some stuff.
I don't think there's nothing we can get rid of.
But then even aside from hunting, you even made that comment about it being expensive, and then you throw in camera gear. Like, we can't even kind of approach camera gear the same way. Like,
we had a whole podcast on it where I talked to Brandon Fiend about it, about gear don't matter, and that was prime example.
Right.
I had me a T6 back in the day, and you said, watch this guy. You don't need the baddest camera out there to take some banging pictures.
Right. And I have people, man, I couldn't tell. I've lost count of how many people I've talked to that say, hey, what kind of camera you use, or what kind of lenses do you use? Or I'm thinking about, I'm really wanting to get into it. What do you think I should buy? Or what's a good starter camera? You know, you hear those questions all the time. And I've never said, well, you need to go buy this $5,000 body and this $3,000 lens. Like, no. Like, first I'm going to say, well, for one, you need to figure out what your budget is. But obviously, with anything, you get what you pay for. So obviously, the more money you spend, the nicer stuff it's going to be. But I don't think somebody starting out even needs that, because like you said, you might do it for a month and be like, this is not me, you know, and then you can sell it to me really cheap. But
especially if it's the expensive one.
Right. But it's kind of the same thing, you know. I start on the smaller end, the lower end. Make sure it's something that you like. Build your whole arsenal. That's the word I was looking for. Build your arsenal of stuff. Let it grow over time. Once you kind of got what you need, then start replacing and upgrading those items. You know, that kind of stuff. Same thing with the camera. I mean, gosh, been playing with a camera for 10 years now, and I still don't have what I want.
Nah.
Like, you know,
I can't afford, I won't ever have what I want. Not unless I hit a scratch off the right way.
Just scratch it just right.
Just right.
But I think that goes for the same thing, and I think that I think you can apply that in pretty much any hobby, probably. But I know another good thing is, like, Facebook has a lot of these like buy, sell, and trade pages and stuff that I'm a part of. You know, a lot of times you can buy stuff secondhand. You can either find it in town, maybe, or you know, or just people online. You know, join these pages, and I know when I first started, like diving into some of the Sitka stuff and stuff, like the first handful of stuff I got was from those buy, sell, and trade pages, just buying stuff secondhand, you know, and one thing save you a ton of money that way.
Talking about like camera gear and stuff, resorting back to that. I know I told you a lot of times I like renting gear.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, I'm not going to rent a Sitka jacket for somebody, but I'm saying when it comes to like camera gear and even some other things, you can probably rent it before you buy it. See if it's something you like. Try it out. Take it for a test drive.
I definitely think that's a good idea before making a very large purchase anyways.
Yeah. And then that also comes down to when you're on that hunt. You know, if you're on a duck hunt and you got 6 guys there and one of them maybe does have a expensive shotgun, see if it'll let you put a round or two through it. See if it fits right.
And I've definitely, I've done that before. Like somebody shooting something that you've kind of had your eye on before. Hey, do you mind if people will let you do that? You know, there's nothing weird about it. As long as it's somebody that you know.
Don't you walk up and, hey, can I borrow that?
But
and it never works if you have a cop. Can I shoot your gun?
Yeah.
I've had that happen.
Really?
Oh yeah.
People's ask
you. I know my job gets in the way of a hunting, but you can't make some of this stuff up. Like this I could talk to you for 4 podcasts about some of the dumb crap I've seen in my job. But yes, people will ask you stupid crap.
Can I shoot your gun?
Yep. People ask you a lot of dumb stuff.
I don't even know how to
the faith in humanity goes way down when you get into like first responder stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
This episode is brought to you by Odie Sporting LLC, the creators of the Triptych, the original bird hunter's multi-tool, with features for both waterfowl and upland hunters. We encourage you to go check out the product at www.thetriptych.com and make sure to use promo code TEAM910 for 20% off your purchase.
What's your, I can't ever say this. Something. Tip talk.
910 tip talk?
910 tip talk.
Well, how's that so hard?
I don't know. It's a tongue twister.
You're like trip, tick,
It's like
talk.
blue black Bugs blood. You didn't hear a word I just said?
How now, brown cow? I was trying to think of what you said.
Blue, black, bugs, blood.
Blue, black, bugs, bug. That don't even
Blue,
make sense.
Black, bugs, blood.
What's that mean?
Say it 5 times fast.
I can't.
I can barely say it once. But no, the tip talk.
910 tip
910 tip talk.
You have to say
You
it
have to-
with an English accent. Talk.
Well, at least I didn't do Hispanic. And
Is it time for the 910 tip talk?
I don't know why it's funny.
I'm just going to use that accent the whole time we talk because at least you get
We're
tickled
gonna
out
get
of it.
flagged.
Yes, I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's time for the 910 tip talk. I am your host.
Maybe it's because you're so short it just fits better. I don't know.
Here we go.
No. What is yours for today?
My 910 tip talk for the day is my Yeti bucket.
What about it?
How awesome it is and why I think you should use one if you don't. So, I'm trying to think of how I think when the Yeti buckets first came out, I thought that's crazy that you would spend that kind of money on a bucket. It's like $40 for the bucket, and then you can buy a lid, and then you buy a tray. You know, like you can spend $100 on the whole get up.
Yeah.
But then I just started kind of looking at it and researching it, and I was like, you know what that would be great for? Is like using that as a blind bag when hunting in like an A-frame panel blind or hunting in the marsh, somewhere where you're not in like a layout. Layouts, obviously, it's not going to work. But pretty much anything outside of that, I was like, that might be a good idea for like a blind bag. And I know me and you have started using it. So pretty much anytime we're not in a layout, or in like flooded timber or something, anytime we're actually sitting down in a blind,
That's what we're using.
that's what we're using.
Especially toting camera gear.
So where I love it is the fact of, for one, you can put a bunch of stuff in it.
And it stays dry.
For two, it stays dry. Even if the ground you're in is wet, muddy, you sit it there. You're not worried about, it's not like setting a bag. Now, I know a lot of these bags are waterproof, but that's to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I mean, prime example is when we went on that swan hunt and the mud was 6-8 inches deep of mud.
Yeah.
Plop your bucket right down in it. No worries. You get back to the house, you hose it off. It's whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, for one, protecting gear. And then for two, my favorite thing about it is that it kind of makes a nice little table for you. For us, for one, what's nice is having the camera, because you'll have your regular chair. Then we have our bucket. We'll sit in front of us, set your shells on it, set your camera on it, set your drink on it. Kind of gives you a little table. Everybody else has got a blind bag sitting on the ground. You got to bend over to grab your stuff. Like, I got me a nice little table here. So that's just, not that it's a big tip. It's just, I think a lot of people would see that bucket and don't really know of, well, what would I do with that? This is a great use for it.
Use it a lot. My wife loves the Yeti bucket.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
You know where my Yeti bucket is right now? Sitting in my living room.
I'm trying to think of what she would be using it for.
Oh, yeah. I come around the corner the other day, and my Yeti bucket's sitting in the living room. And I'm like, what are you doing? She uses it to go around, because it's got a nice little soft handle on it. She goes out in the yard and picks up a bunch of twigs and sticks and all kinds of stuff, uses it for firewood. So my bucket, I'm about to dump firewood in my living room because I need that for this trip. And it's full of little twigs. But yeah, I've enjoyed using it. I'd rather use that than a blind bag half the time if we can. I mean,
I just thought that was a cool little tip, because it's something of, when you see that, you don't instantly just think, that'd be a good blind bag. Like, I don't even know why I really even thought of that, but it kind of worked, and we've been using those for our blind bags for 3 or 4 years now, something like that.
I love using it.
So that's my tip talk of the week.
Tip talk of the week. I got it right. Mine would be, okay, so I can use mine because I now have one, but I got to give the OG credit to G2, and that is your game cleaning box, bag, whatever.
What's he call his?
His is the Rubbermaid.
The Rubbermaid, yeah.
So I got the idea from G2, but I've had one. I had one this season, even though I barely went hunting. I did get to use it a little bit, and I love that thing.
Uh-huh.
It's so nice when it's time to clean birds or time to clean deer, whatever it may be. I've got, a box that stays in my truck that has trash bags, it has grocery bags, has gloves, a knife sharpener. I ain't got as bougie as a G2 because he's got like the whole Dawn dish soap and a water jug and, excuse me. Woo! And we're back. But just having it, because you remember back in the day what I've always used, and I think you would probably remember this. If not, I'm going to pick on you about your memory. What did I always have in my truck every season? I put it in the back of my truck.
Toilet paper.
Well,
Case of water.
Case of water. That was for the longest time, beginning of hunting season, I bought a small case of water bottles, and I put them in the bed of my truck, and they stayed there.
Yeah.
And every time you clean birds, clean deer, whatever it may be, at least you got some water to rinse your knife off, rinse your hands off.
Yeah.
Well, that has been game changer because that is out of the question now. Now I got this bougie bucket, little box that's got all this stuff in it. And I think that's a cool little tip to try and to have because anybody that hunts, hopefully everybody that hunts, is cleaning their game afterwards.
Right.
And it just makes life super luxurious to have all that stuff. So
I'm glad that y'all provide that.
I love it. I love having that thing in there. So like I said, original credit G2. Got the idea from him. But
he even you haven't stepped it up with the big water jug.
That's what I'm saying. He's got like the whole water jug with the spigot.
It's like the 5-gallon jug that's got the little spigot where you can just.
And I looked at him. I was going to buy one. It's just that takes up a lot more room.
Yeah.
Because that box I got just slides into the deck system. Whatever.
I know that's something that which you weren't there, no shocker, but the one of the last goose hunts we went on when we were cleaning birds, I've noticed more times than not we use that rinse kit.
Mm-hmm.
More times than not, we run out of water before we're done cleaning birds.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I want to add to the trailer for next year is I want to keep like a 5-gallon reservoir, like just get one of the big 5-gallon deals that we can just keep
that
in
one
there.
He's got, I think it's a 2.5 gallon. I've seen him at Academy or something, but they have
But either way, I want to start carrying some kind of extra to where when we empty that, we can
just fill it.
So we at least got enough to make like two full
batches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't gotten that because of the room. I didn't want to take up that much room with it, but still having the box has been super
most
sweet.
of the time you don't need that because we have the rinse kit. But in the occasion that you don't, or like where his came in nice was like when we were dove hunting. Well, we don't have the trailer when we dove hunt, and we just didn't think to, hey, let's take the rinse kit with us. So it's luckily he had that, which was
sweet.
Kind of replaced where the rinse kit would be.
But yeah.
I like that.
I like having that box.
I want to get me one of those. Did you make yours out of the deck box?
Yeah, the little small like tackle box looking thing that comes in the deck.
I want to get me a couple of those boxes.
I think you can buy them individually.
You can. I've looked at them on the website because I bought mine used, so it didn't come with all that.
Buy the box used.
Buy the box used.
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
You can't find them though. No. I feel like nobody sells those.
Why did yours not have them in it? I wonder. Like the guy just got rid of them. I guess
he just got rid of them, or he kept them for himself or something else.
They're nice.
He was probably I bought it from a guy he was a general contractor, so he said that he used it for tools and stuff. It's probably those boxes still got tools in them.
But no, it works great. Like I said, I've been trying to think of more things to add to it outside of the Dawn and the water source. But I mean, like I said, I put trash bags, Ziploc bags, like the 2-gallon large Ziploc bags, gloves, like latex gloves, a knife sharpener. There may even be a headlamp in there. Just anything you need, you can grab this box and go skin something.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I think that's something else that I want to put in the trailer is I think we might have like a knife in there, but you'd be shocked if you got 7 or 8 guys, it's time to clean birds and nobody's got a knife. So I'm like, I'm going to put 3 or 4 knives in this jewel. Because last time we had a great system. We had 3 truck beds kind of lined up, and we had the first one had a couple guys
plucking, peeling, and cutting
that were just kind of opening it up. And then it went to the next truck bed that was cutting them out. And then the third truck bed was actually rinse them and bag them. Like, it was a good system, but we were like, I'd have to wait on this guy to have it done with his knife, like that kind of thing. So is if we would have had one or two more knives, it'd have been a flawless little system there. Knocked it out pretty quick that way.
How many people did you get to skin?
All of us.
We're improving.
We're getting better.
That was something we've already talked about. Now that it dwindles down.
Well, what was nice about that is we were able to do it right there on site.
Was this the Merg hunt?
No.
I'm about to say, no wonder.
No, it was one of the goose hunts we went on. The Merg hunt, that one worked out great because Zane said, "Can I have these? I want to make dog food for my dog." And we're like,
all yours.
he was like, "If y'all let me have the wood duck, I'll take all the Mergs." I'm like, "They're all yours, buddy."
Say no more.
Waylon was upset.
Took his first kill. Waylon, I apologize. One day you're going to look back and you're going to listen to this or watch this, and sorry, buddy. We just had to keep you driven for now.
He's having fun though.
Hey, note, he woke up in the morning and said, "I want to go hunting."
Hey, that's
a
all you can ask
win
for.
in itself.
That's all you can ask for. And that's what I said. Like, I hadn't even planned on it just
You can't
because I
tell
was
him
like,
no.
but I would never say no. If he can go, then
If he wants to go,
by golly.
by golly. Yeah. So that's a win in itself right there. I'm nervous about this.
Sometimes.
I got my son's due soon. I'm just like, I want him to be a hunter so bad.
Well, I think we even talked about this. Like, he's still not at that point to where I feel like he's like ate up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes
Well, he is now. He got his first kill. He's
but then
good.
I think a lot of it's just little boys. They're into everything.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, he's told me plenty of times he didn't want to go. Like, no, I want to go do this. Because it was, hey, do you want to go stay at grandma's tonight, or do you want to stay here and go hunt with me? I want to go to grandma's. All right, that's fine. You know, so
You're not pushing.
it's not like I don't think he's like die hard, like begging to always go, but he's definitely interested, you know. So I think a lot of that's, like I said, just he weighs it out on what does he think's going to be the most fun, and that's what he wants to go do. So, you know, he wants to go to grandma's because she's going to spoil him to death.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows how that goes.
Can't fault him there.
No. Nope.
But yeah.
What do you got left to pack?
Everything. I haven't packed my clothes, any of my clothing. Obviously you see my guns and stuff. I have not packed.
Nothing.
No. Only thing I have done is I have got camera gear right. Well, aside from what's going on right now, I got to redump all this stuff. But yeah, I've got my stuff charged up and getting the camera stuff right. Priorities, you know.
Yeah.
I might not kill anything, but I'll be able to film everything.
I've done better with the camera gear. I think usually it's like I'm taking 3 bags or 4 if you include the drone, and I'm down to 1 this time.
Okay. You know me. I
One
usually
bag.
I can usually fill the bed of the truck with just camera stuff, but I've tried to.
Well, it's like I've
limit it.
went enough to where I'm like, I usually don't end up using that. I usually don't end up using it. And so it's like, I'm just trying to take bare minimums.
Yeah. I did a little bit of that. I kind of packaged things inside of other things so that they were all condensed.
Yeah.
Because we were about to find out. We did an episode on packing for a hunting trip. We're about to play a game of Tetris in the back of my truck because we're not taking the trailer. That trailer is nice when you got all that room.
The trailer is nice for the fact of
Not so much on the
you
gas mileage.
never have to think about where do we put this or where do like you got all the room you want.
And I think one thing that's going to be and we'll let you know on the next podcast, is this whole bed thing, the whole air mattress that goes in the back seat.
Yeah.
That's going to be a trial and error thing. Usually we have gear up there, usually like camera gear, but we're going to have to limit what goes in the cab now.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to find out if that thing's going to be a
And I
winner
think
or not.
this is really the first real test for the deck system because me and you were both running those on our trucks. Now we've traveled with my truck with that, but we had the trailer. So this is the first time we've traveled with just a truck with that. So it's kind of curious to see is that going to help or does it hurt? You know.
Yeah. Which, like I said, I think last time we took your truck without the deck, we stood like the layouts on
We
their
used
side.
to put them on their side and
Ain't
we
gonna
strap
happen.
them. That ain't happening this year.
So.
No. So they're going to have to lay flat on the floor, but hopefully we'll be able to utilize those drawers to keep a lot of that other stuff
one
out.
drawer at least.
One drawer.
The other one's full.
We're going to take all that out.
That stuff's got to go. That is the cleaning kit and safety stuff. So might be able to make a little bit of room in it, but we'll see. I don't know. That's going to be tomorrow's excitement. Me and you playing a game of Tetris in the back of my truck.
We'll be fine.
We may be aging ourselves with Tetris. I don't know. Is people still play Tetris?
I don't know. What are they now? It's called Candy Crush.
Remember,
it's kind of the same.
Remember the Game Boy?
Oh yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Waylon got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas.
Is that the one that comes apart on the sides? Yeah.
And we were talking. I was dating myself with the Game Boy because I was like, man,
the OG Game Boy, the big gray one.
Game Boy, yeah. And I was like, the screen didn't light up. It wasn't colored. I used to have this big magnet thing that clipped on it, and it magnified the glass to make it bigger, and it had a light. And I had like the big carrying case with all my different games.
Oh yeah.
And I thought I was something.
I don't even know where that might still be at my parents'. I need to go try to find that thing because I had like that.
It's probably setup right next to your dad's shoulder mount camera.
Yeah, he still has that.
I'm sure he does.
And I got to pick on him because talk about funny stories. I don't know that this is kind of awkward. I don't know if I've ever showed you any of our home videos back in the day, but
we're in a lot of them together. Actually.
Yeah, we are. But my dad, we used to always my mom would get mad at my dad because I guess he had a little cameraman in him too. Because when he's sitting there filming like home videos where he'd be watching, it's like Christmas morning, I'm 3 or 4 years old. We're opening presents, blah, 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 blah. And it's just static cam just sitting there, just plain Jane, nothing fancy about it. He just sits it there. And then all of a sudden, it'll switch to this plant. And my dad's like zooming in and doing rack and focus. And
B-roll sequence.
Yeah, just of a plant. And then it goes back to just us opening presents. Just, but it's like every one of our home videos.
Yeah.
I wish I could find it.
I'll tell you what's on ours is, and I would say.
That work again?
No. This would be my mom, and probably my dad too, but most of the time I feel like she was filming because she don't want to be on film. But what they would do is, there's cameras back. I don't know if any cameras do it now. I can't imagine that they would. But back then, it had like built-in like fader. Like you had a button that you could hold.
My dad would do
and
that.
It would fade to black, and you let go of it, and it would fade back in.
He did it on a flower.
We'd be like on the ground opening presents on Christmas Day, and then it just fades to black. And it just fades back in. I'm like, what are you doing?
That was my dad, but it was with a flower. For some reason, he liked videoing flowers. And it was funny because I think, I was little. And when my granddad was alive, and he was holding me, and there's this one video, and it cracks me up because even though I was probably maybe 2-3 years old, and I had the cork gun. Remember the old cork guns? Pop the cork out maybe
had like the string, you pull it back.
Maybe a foot.
Yeah.
Well, one of those videos, my granddad's holding me, and I'm kind of out of frame. You can't see me. But my dad starts filming this flower. It's just this one flower. He's sitting there zooming in. The boy's getting into it, fading in and out. And all of a sudden you hear, and I shot the flower and it broke it off the stem. I'm going to show him about the home videos. But I crack up every time I see that thing. But there's actually a picture of me holding that cap gun. I think that was that same day.
That's
but yeah,
funny.
you sit there and just nice little flower.
Did you ever get? Did I ever show you the video of your dad was Skull and Lady Provider?
Oh yeah.
Did I? I remember talking to you about it.
No, you showed it to me at your house one day, and I sent a video to my parents. They're like, "Oh God, where'd you find that?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I got blackmail."
Yeah,
on the way.
Good times.
So creepy thing. This was what I was going to start out with, and I'm going to say it just now. And whatever. It's a little creepy.
Send it.
Weirdest thing ever. And I thought about this. So I used to have a picture of you in a cowboy hat.
Sure. I was a cowboy when I was a kid.
That stayed in my wallet. And I think the only reason of that
turn red. You still got it in there, don't you?
know.
Show it to me.
I don't have it. But back when I was a little kid and I had a wallet, you didn't have the wallet size pictures. Like, it ain't like you had a picture of your car. I wasn't too young, but when I was a little bitty kid, that was the only picture. I had a picture of my family, and I think a picture of maybe one of our pets that my mama gave me, and then a picture of you and a cowboy. But it was the only size picture that would fit in that thing, so it stayed
It'd
in
been
my
better
wallet.
if I'd have been the only picture.
But it was just, I remembered that, and I was like, it's kind of creepy looking at it now. But because, our parents were like best friends growing up, so they just had, I guess they had got one of your, it might have been like a school photo. I don't know if
Probably
you were
one of the
rocking the old cowboy hat in the school
Olin's
photo.
Mills photos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I guess they had got one from your mom. So they're like, here, you can have that. Trying to make me fill my wallet up. So I had this picture, and for the longest time, there was a time I didn't know who that was.
Some cowboy.
There's some dude in my wallet.
dad always said it was
I thought
John
it came with
Wayne.
the wallet. But yeah, I thought about it. I was like, it's kind of creepy thinking about it now, but there used to be a picture of you in my wallet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's still in your wallet is impressive.
Do people still carry pictures in their wallet? That's another thing that's probably dating us. I don't think anybody carries
That's
pictures.
the thing that I thought about when you were telling me that. Is like, I remember when you used to buy wallets, they would come with them.
Album thing.
They would come with them little sleeves, like the little clear plastic,
Yeah.
and they would have like 4 or 5. You could put 4 or 5 pictures in there.
One of them was you.
And people kept pictures in their wallet. Like, I forgot that was even a
That was
thing.
pre-phone.
Yeah.
So,
Because it used to be, that was the old guys. You want to see pictures of my grandkids,
or you want to see a picture of Garrett?
or Garrett.
Don't know why. I think it was just the only one I had, but that would be hilarious if I could find that thing.
That's so awesome. I
We-
wish
we've
you,
known each
I
other
wish
too
you
long.
knew what it looked like, because
I know
guarantee-
exactly what it looks like because I had it in there forever.
Because I'm
You
sure
probably were 5, 6.
I mean, and then from the time that I was probably 3 to 7, 8 years old, like that was, I wanted to be a cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
That was my only. I mean, dude, I had the hat. I had freaking chaps. I had a big duster jacket,
you were
like the pearl
cowboyed up.
snaps, the bolo. Like
Yeah.
I was all about being.
Pretty
a
sure you're
cowboy
wearing
when I
like a
was
white cowboy hat with the boa.
probably.
But I remember that picture, and I remember for the longest, I was like, man, I had that thing in my wallet forever, and I don't know why.
Just the other day, I was cleaning out my wallet and
No, dude,
realized I should
I'm
take
going to look for this now because I thought about it, and I don't know if that still exists or not somewhere. It's probably next to the Game Boy and all the other stuff, but that would be hilarious. I want to find that.
Yeah, maybe we should bring that back. Putting pictures
In your wallets.
again.
Yeah.
Let's make that cool again. I mean,
be a hard
everything
push.
else is kind of like revolving. You know, like
I don't
as
think
far
you
as-
could. I don't think you could bring back Richard Ramsey's old VHS.
I don't even know if people print pictures anymore.
No. We talked about that on the podcast. I strictly remember game cameras. Having to go get the film out the camera and take it to CVS to find out 4 days later what's on your camera.
Mm-hmm.
There's things have evolved. Now you just sit here and get pictures at night when you're or when you're at work. But yeah,
That's
random story.
I was trying to think of. That's hilarious though.
Top that.
Yeah,
A little creepy, but do
I was going somewhere with it and I forgot.
you remember rewinders?
Yes, I had a Ferrari one.
You had a Ferrari?
Yes.
Bougie.
It was a Ferrari, and it popped open, and you put the VHS in there, and it was way quicker than the VHS.
It better be if it's a Ferrari.
Yeah, she was the real deal, son.
Dang.
He's a very, very fast.
He's
He's a racist car.
He's a racist car. It's Pacheco. I got gypped, man. I just had a plain old Jane Black one.
Ah, Ferrari,
Be
baby.
kind rewind.
More than you can afford, pal. Ferrari.
We're dumb.
Yeah. Dude, I forgot about that, though.
Yeah, the old stuff, man. Rewind.
The Blockbuster days.
Yep.
They charge you if you brought it back and it wasn't rewound.
Yep.
We're really dating ourselves.
We're not even that old.
I know, but look how much has changed in 35 years.
I always tell people CDs didn't live long. Because I remember, I still got cassette tapes.
They didn't live near as long as cassettes did.
No, I weren't back in, the 8-track.
CDs
day,
don't
but-
last long enough to last long.
No. I tell you what does last? DVDs. If you take it. Not if you're Zach. You remember Zach's center console back in the day and the Green Machine?
Yeah.
Dude, you'd get in that dude's truck and you'd lift up the center seat and he would have all his CDs just piled on top of each other, scratching all over the place.
Yeah. If you
don't let Zach borrow
you
a CD.
rewind 15 years or so and go back and get in anybody's car and look up at the
Oh, yeah,
at
all the
sun
CDs.
visor, all
Yeah.
the CDs stuck
Oh,
up
yeah.
there.
I still have a CD player in my truck.
Because, see, it used to be kind of like you'd have like a top 10 because you'd have
The big
you'd have
album.
the big, huge briefcase that holds, 300 CDs. That stays in the back seat or whatever. But then up top on the sun visor,
That was your
it'd
top
be like
10.
a little 10 slot.
Yep.
That was the top 10. And, and you about every month or so,
Change 'em
I'd
out.
change them all out, and
Could you imagine having to carry that thing around if you wanted to listen to music now? The 1.5 by 1.5 album of CDs. Drive, there's a safety concern driving down the road,
Flipping
trying to
CDs.
find that right one. Oh yeah,
remember the Walkmans?
Yeah.
You clip the little
Oh, yeah.
Walkman with the cassette tape, or then it went to CDs, and you got the headphones, them little plastic ones that would just break.
yeah. They weren't
They
worth
hurt
nothing.
your head so bad.
They were like this thin little. Remember the Talk Boy?
Yes, I had a Talk Boy.
I still have a Talk Boy.
Waylon wants one so bad. This is
Do they still make them?
no, but now they're like collector's items, right? So
Is it worth money?
yeah,
I got one.
if you still got one, dude, you could make a killing.
I thought I looked that crap up and they weren't nothing.
They're like going for like $500 now.
We got to go. I got to go.
I swear, dude.
I've got
and
it.
the only reason I know that is because I had one, and so Waylon's favorite Christmas movie is Home Alone.
Home Alone.
We just got through Christmas or whatever. Well, he told his my mom,
Mm-hmm.
that he wants a Talk Boy because that's why I wanted one when Home Alone came out, and I'm like, I want one of those, and they sold them then. Of course, they were cheap then. They're just little. They're just a recorder. There's nothing
I'll sell you one
fancy
for
about them.
$500.
Yeah, I bet you will. And I used to have one, and I'm sure it just got thrown away. But now that Waylon's into that movie, he wants one. So Mom was like, I went looking online trying to find one. You wouldn't believe what they're charging for these things now.
Well, so you would think like the old Nintendo would be worth money, but I've been checking that for years.
But I think
not.
it's because those were so mass produced.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
The Talk Boy was like one of those things that was probably only popular for like that 1 year that the movie came out.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that was solely based for that movie, right? I mean, that was the.
yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
I haven't never seen one anywhere else. It may be outside of that, but
If you got one,
I've got one
I would
somewhere.
throw that jewel on eBay
We'll be doing that tonight.
or on Marketplace or on something.
I can only see the comment section coming back. What is that thing?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, some other old cool trinkets. I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff that we're forgetting about.
there's plenty of them.
I don't know. We're old.
Well, what made me think a lot of that stuff was I was scrolling through like Facebook the other day, and it was, or maybe it was TikTok, and the guy was talking about, how do you know where your buddies are? You're sending out a group text or whatever. Back in the day, it was the yard that had all the bicycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that meme.
And I mean, me, I used to ride all over the place back and forth to different people's houses, and that was it. I mean, you had bicycles
Yeah.
everywhere.
Or there's that other meme that says something about if your parents only knew how far we used to ride our
Oh,
bikes back in the day.
They might listen to that. You better
Like,
be quiet.
we're straight up like crossing town.
Yeah.
It's too late now. What you gonna do?
it's out there. Yeah. I'm grounded.
But yeah, same thing. We used
the,
to live on the bikes or the skateboard or something. We was gone.
And the whole, like, when the lights came out, the street lights came on.
Street lights come on. It's
time to go home. I may or may not have broke that one a few times.
I miss those days, man. You can't even it's not that people just don't do it no more. You can't do it no more. That's
Nah.
what sucks.
Remember
Kids will never get to have it made like we had it made.
payphones?
Yeah. Payphones.
Payphone booths.
Yeah.
Never actually put it to your ear without looking at it first. Somebody stuck some gum on that thing. Did you ever find a payphone or a payphone booth?
I remember it
that
would
had
have
the phone book still
phone book hanging in
intact?
it. Yeah.
But none of them were ever intact. Somebody always ripped crap out of
Well,
them.
sure.
Or they were just gummed up or missing.
Making rolling papers out of the phone book
Like,
or
what did these
something.
people do with all these phone books they took?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are free. You don't even need like why you need to steal that.
That's like a paper route. Like, I guess people still read the paper, but it's not like you don't see the paper guy throwing, obviously there's boxes now, but I don't even know the last time I haven't got a paper. I don't get papers.
I assume there's still one. I don't even know for a fact, but I guarantee in the next 20 years there won't be.
Yeah.
Because the only people that are still reading the paper are on that last leg.
I look for many jobs in the classified section of the newspaper.
Yeah.
You remember doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Circling classifieds? Man, going back in time. And we're not even that old. Imagine some of these
That's
older
what's
guys.
crazy is you think about how much things have changed in just 30 years.
Imagine what it's going to be like in another 30.
Imagine what somebody who is 90 years old,
Has seen.
how much they've seen things change. Like,
Mhm.
that's incredible. I was thinking about that earlier when, like, my phone wouldn't load like that. And I'm like,
Getting
stupid
mad.
thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I remember when they first, of course, this was back before all the other social media platforms. It was pretty much just like MySpace and
MySpace.
and maybe Facebook, but that was like it.
Mm.
And I remember when they came out with the apps, when the smartphones first started coming out, you can get Facebook, MySpace on your phone. And I'm like, who would put Facebook on their phone? That is so stupid.
It's stupid.
Just wait till you get home.
now you live off of it.
Like, and now it's
Instagram.
just like every other second. It's dumb, but it's like I remember when me and you used to work at the Ford place. We'd get on the computer and we get on there and log in and see if you got any likes or any. I don't even know what you got back then.
Here's one for you. You've got mail.
Yeah,
I still have
you
mail.
still got that one.
You talking about
You and my great grandma are the only ones that still got keeping AOL alive.
It ain't got the dial up with the little dude running, but
Oh, when somebody would call your house, it'd kick you offline.
oh yeah, or you had to get off the phone, or you had to get off of the phone or off the internet because somebody had to make a phone call.
Yeah,
What did we do back then?
dude.
But it is true, and these things, they do kill the world in the brain, because you can't go to any restaurant right now and look around, and about every table somebody's doing this. Or I got behind
Some restaurants,
Mexican
that's
man
how
driving
you.
down the road.
Some restaurants, that's how you look at the menu now.
Oh yeah,
They only got menus.
well that's like my
you
wife.
scan the QR code and look at the menu on your phone.
My wife has got this thing where she likes to do pickup orders.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I hate it. I hate doing that.
We'll literally be sitting in the parking lot of the place, and my wife's ordering
Yep.
on the phone. I was like, the drive-thru's right there.
I do the same thing. She'll be like, "No, this is better." I'm like, "How is this
I don't
better?
get it.
How is this like?"
I can understand if you're on the way, and it's like, well, by the time we get there, it'll be ready. But to
Pull in the parking lot.
Pull in the parking lot
Looking
and
at
hold
the
on.
counter, this lady standing there with nothing to do, and you're just like, "Hold on, let me get my app."
like, that's just straight up. I
Drives
don't
me
want to talk
nuts.
to nobody.
It drives me nuts. But what are you gonna do? Times are changing.
Yeah. Well, let's get to packing. We got a trip to go on.
Yeah.
We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
See ya.